Hello everybody and welcome back to the craft room with Tanya. Now, I have a little idea. Sorry, I'm slurping a mug of tea, very rude of me. I have a little idea for a card. Whether or not it's going to work is another ball game entirely, but sure, if it doesn't work, I'll end up deleting this and you'll never know. Now, I had a lovely lady in our craft group. I don't like to think of all 700 of us as subscribers to a channel because it's a little bit overawing, to be honest. But I do like to think of you joining me in the craft room and about just having fun together crafting. Because I do, as I've said, live up the side of a mountain and it can be a little bit isolating. There's not a lot of craft groups near me. And certainly there's none that I know of that do the kind of thing that I love to do. So I had a lady in our group that mentioned that she, sorry, I'm not focused. I'm futtering here and I'm not focused. Futtering is an Irish word, which means fussing about but doing nothing. Does that make sense? Futtering, messing about. There you go. I've little bits of paper ripped up. That's what I was gathering. So somebody in the group had mentioned that they were going to get rid of all of their pretty paper, and because they were taken greatly with this sort of grungy look, and they're going to get rid of all of their pretty paper. Do not get rid of your pretty paper, please, please, please do not get rid of your pretty paper. You can use it. It doesn't matter what it is. I have different pieces all over the place that I've acquired. These are actually, some of these are really lovely. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? By the by, I have another plan for those later on in a different video. But this one, look at this. Isn't this paper gorgeous? It's nearly a shame to do what I'm going to do with it. But I have a vision. Now, whether it works is a completely different matter. But I have a vision of a grungy card base and focal point. Well, not so much a base. I'm going to have a focal point and then I'm going to use another bit, possibly in the frame. It depends how it works out. But let's have a go and see. So what I want to do is I want to rip my beautiful paper up like so. There we go. Now, and then I want to run over my card base, not card base, my card. This is just A5 piece of card. I think it's about 270 gram. Maybe a little bit heavier. It's hard to say. But I don't know. I don't think it would be as heavy as 300. I think it's probably 270. So I'll just run over that with a bit of glue stick. Again, it doesn't have to be terribly... Well, actually, I think it needs to be better than that, Tanya. Yeah, I do want these to stick. So I'm running a little bit more over. We want them to stick, but we also want to rip them off, if it makes sense. You don't have to, but it's fun if you do. I'm keeping the... Well, I was keeping the very straight edges, actually. I'll run it that way to the corners and things, because I want them deliberately rough. There, we'll do that way. Rip a little bit and pop it in there. Whoops, wrong way around. Straight edge. There we go. Now let me see. There's a good bit. Let's see, we'll take a little bit off there. And then we'll pop that in there like that. There's a lovely little piece. We could pop it in there. That bit could go there. Like that. And let me see, here's a little bit. Oh, here's some pieces too. Pop that down at the bottom. Rip this up and we'll pop that. Oops, down you go. Don't worry if they don't stick too well. It doesn't really matter. There. Now, I'm covered in glue. We'll get rid of those little bits. Put that there. Why not? Right. Now, what I want to do, excuse me, is I want to go in round these little cracks a little bit. Now, this is my homemade dimensional paste. or dimension paste, whatever you like to call it. I don't want to go too heavy-handed. It's not to look like poly filler, but it just to go in around a few of these cracks to give them a little bit of dimension. And you'll see why, I hope you'll see why at the end. Now, let's get a bit in there. That's plenty. That's absolutely plenty. Now, let's clean up the tools first. There we go. And then the glass mat. Ooh, I do apologise for the scratchy noises. And then round the edge of the pot so it doesn't stick. There we go. Dimensional paste. We won't need that again, so I'll pop that away like that. And now we have to let this dry. It won't work if it's not dry, so I'm going to set that to the side. And in good old Blue Peter fashion, here's one I did earlier. Now, for everybody in the United States of America and everybody in the Australian and faraway fields, Blue Peter was a TV program. It is a TV program. It's run, it must have been running for 50 years or something close to, because I've been watching it since I was a kid. And I'm nearly 60, so I'm sure it's running at least 50 odd years. Brilliant little program for kids. And once a fortnight or once a month, they do a make, maybe a model or a cake or whatever. I don't know that they cook. They do cook sometimes, don't they? But I think they used to. But they do a make anyway, and they have a great habit. Whenever anything needs dried, they just, here's one I made earlier, and produce another one. So what I want to do is I want to rip up my pretty pieces like so, if they'll come. Don't worry if they don't. It doesn't really matter either way, because I'm after this effect. I'm after this lovely little bits. Oh, that's coming off too well. There we go. There we go. I'm after these pieces, there we go, that don't come off as well. I want those every bit as much as the bits that do. In fact, more so. There, we're coming along nicely. There we go. Now, there we go. And there's a bit. I think that'll do us, will it? Look at that. Now, I can keep these and use these to do the same thing on another card. So don't throw those out. Keep those little scraps, those little tear-offs. Keep those, because those will do another card. Put them in a box or whatever, and you can use them again and again. So don't waste your paper. It's too expensive to waste. Now, what I want to do next is I want to stamp over these bare bits, right? And I want to do it. Well, I want to colour everything in. Actually, first, I don't want to stamp anything. I want to colour it in. Now, let me get a little pot of water. There we go. I keep my little jug of water in the craft room for all those little eventualities where you might want to just do a bit of painting. So, and this is an old brush, because this can be quite rough on your brushes. And what I'm going to do... Oh! I didn't expect it to come out quite like that. I'll have to clean that up. I'll do that later. So that's just some black acrylic paint. I do beg your pardon. I also want some white acrylic paint. And I'm going to use my brush. Now there's a big bit of mucky bit there that came away with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round this like so. Now I'm sort of doing my edges in the darker colour like this. Doesn't really matter because we'll be cutting this up anyway, but it's just to take that bare look off it, and just a few bits and pieces of black here and there. Bring that in like so. like so. Now, get rid of that. Where's my kitchen roll? There we go. Isn't this too much fun? And then we'll bring in our white and we'll just go over. Don't be too particular. It's supposed to be grungy, so it doesn't matter. Like so. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but I actually saw something similar to this on a journaling page. Now, let me just clean up a little bit because I couldn't work on that. It would drive me bananas. Working on that. No, I'm not getting rid of my paint, just the mess. There we go. We'll keep that to the side. Now look at that. Isn't that coming along really, really well? You can still see little bits of the text underneath. But now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of grunge. So I'm using Distress Oxide Spray, Vintage Photo. I've salvaged patina, and I have a little bit of spiced marmalade. I'm not sure spiced marmalade is the colour I really want to go for on this. Actually, I'll work with, I'm not even sure about salvaged patina. I might want to keep this more sort of black and brown and white. I'm not sure. We'll see. Right, that should be enough now. No, it's not going to do it for me. You can, oh, it is doing it for me. There we go. Now I'm just going to spray a little onto the mat. It's some messy stuff. And I'm going to use my brush. I'm not putting anything else on the brush, just the little bits of... There we go. I do want to see that lovely paper coming through underneath. So I don't want it too... Tiny bit of water on that. That's it. Brilliant. Do a bit more around here. I think that's enough. Right, I'm going to clean that up. I don't want any more of that than I'm aware of. Now, do I want to add in a little... Oh no, look at me. I've just went through everything with the jumper. Oh, dear goodness me. What am I like? Right, we'll roll those up. Oh dear. Sorry about that. I'll get rid of that because I know what will happen. That's the way it goes. It's only a jumper. It'll soon wash off, and it's only acrylic paint. So it's not the end of the world. Now, look at that. Isn't that coming along really lovely? Do you see these little pieces have given it great texture? Look. And then we've bits of our gorgeous bits of dimensional paste in there as well. Now, what I want to do is I want to use a little bit of Versamark. I do beg your pardon. And I think I want to use a little bit of gold. I was thinking of gold or white. Or you could use... Yeah, I think I need to introduce a bit of pizzazz. Let's go for a little bit of gold. This is an indigo blue text stamp. It's called Script Code SB1. I don't think it actually says anything. It could do, but I don't think so. But it doesn't matter. What we want to do is go over it quite well with Versamark. Now, I don't want too much of it, but we'll just do bits here and there. Now, let's see what happens. I've no idea if that's going to stick or not stick. It doesn't really matter. It's maybe not even dry enough yet to be doing that with, but I maybe should have thought and dried it first, but sure, we'll see. Give it a little shimmy and see what happens. Oh, it's worked well. Look, can you see that? Now, I have bits of gold that just don't make an awful lot of sense, so we'll soon get rid of those. And we can always do a little bit more script if need must. Let me get this back in the pot first and foremost. Oopsie daisy, spilled a little bit there. And let me put the lid back on because I'm the devil for that. I'm trying to stay out of this paint. I'll use a finer brush and I'm just going to get rid of this gold that's stuck to places that I really, really, really don't want it. There's a bit there, and there's a whole lot up there. There's a bit. Now, let me see, how's that? There's a little bit there. Get rid of it. It won't matter too much. Still some there. Now, that's good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat set the embossing powder that I've used. Now, sorry, this is Wow Polished Gold, regular gold embossing powder, and I've just used an old Pretty Things watermark clear ink pad. So I'm going to heat set this, so I'll put you on pause so you don't have to bear all that racket. Are you ready? Okay, and welcome back. Now, do you see I have some really beautiful bits of script, but I have missed here, and I think I would want another little bit here because I'll be cutting this into smaller bits. So let's give it another go, like so, because I'm going to use this as a focal point and as, so a little bit there, a good chunk there, and I think even a tiny bit in here. Let's see how that takes. Are you ready? Get the gold off. I'll do this all over. There's a bit there. I'm not sure where else I had it, but doesn't matter. We'll give it a little shimmy, like, oops a daisy, not over the mat, like so. Yeah, that's good. Yep, that's well covered. Now we'll get this back in the pot. Oops, I've spilt a little there as well. Not to worry. It's not a huge pile in the scheme of things. There we go. Now, let me just heat set this and I'll be right back. There we go. What do we think of that? Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you do get any, I have been lucky and I haven't, it's all pretty well glued down. If you do get any bits of paper that have lifted and you're not happy with them, just stick them down with a bit of glue, or, you know, rip them up and colour in with a bit of Distress Oxide or something. Whatever you find works for you. Now, let me put that little paintbrush back in the pot before I lose it. There we go. I'm really pleased with that. So now it's good to go. What I want to do is I want to cut out a little tiny piece as a focal point, and then I want to cut out some maybe a larger piece and use it as a frame. I'm not sure if I'm going to embellish it. I might do a butterfly or a dragonfly or a bee or something along that line sitting on it just to fancy it up. But that's the effect. I will make the card and I will put the card, actually I'll make the card in the next video, and then you'll see how it's used. But isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Look at that, for a bit of grungy, wonderful focal point paper. And you could do this with your pretty paper, the like of this one here. You could use it and then just go for different colors. Instead of blacks, you could go for, like, you know, these nice mauves and purples and oranges and pinks and greens. You know, it doesn't have to be these colors, and you could go with silver, you know, in the script, or you could do trees and leaves. I'll maybe do one actually with one of these and show you, because it'd be good fun. But I do love this. I do love these grungy sort of cards. And this would work well for a gent. And this, oh, look at that one. Oh, I've already got an idea for this one now. I'm going to have to go and make another card. Right. No, focus, Tanya. This one first. Okay, let's get another video done in a minute of how to make this card. Terrific. Thank you so much for joining me. Do stick with me for the next video. Thank you so much.